Snappers, it's Tortimer the Gray. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Gray version. Today we were taking on evil teams, and we have Grunt Alpha Torres here leading off for us, and we got Fumzy v Fumzy, which was kind of devastating to watch, and then Simba comes in here. Now, Fumzy, Weezing is generally a physical wall, so I brought in Simba, who is a strong special attacker, and Simba was able to rip right through Fumzy's defenses, so that worked out pretty nicely. Fumzy throws up that Hyper Voice against the Ludicolo. Should have gotten Simba out of there to begin with, but Ludicolo came back with the Focus Blast and was able to take down Simba. So Fumzy then comes in at that point, get the burn from the Will-O-Wisp of their Fumzy, and the Buffalon's going to be doing some good damage to the physically defensive Fumzy. Doing those kinds of hits on him are few and far between, so bravo to Afrojack there. The Sludge Bomb's going to hit the Primate. Wanted to say Zelda. I was going to hit the Primate that switches in, and then I'm going to get the Pain Split up, which is going to give Fumzy enough life to be able to survive. And then they throw up the Encore again, which again is going to give us just a little bit of life. And then the Black Sludge gets us back up so that we survive the burn. And then the Primate's going to come out with that Ice Punch and finish off Fumzy. At that point, Blackavar comes in, hangs on with the Earthquake there, throws up the Home Claws, and then we are going to go for the Sucker Punch here and finish off the Primate. So that works out pretty nicely. Then Violent J comes in, we hit it with the Poison Jab, get the Poison going. But then that Ice Punch again, another Ice Punch, taking out another one of my Pokemon. So both my Poison types go down to Ice attacks this time. Tornado comes in at this point, we throw up the Air Slash. And then we're going to throw up the Hidden Power Grass, which is going to be 4 times effective and enough to take down the Rhydon. And then we're going to Volt Switch on out, taking out Afrojack. So that leaves us, what, 3-2? At that point, the Girder is going to throw up the Mach Punch. Rhinox is going to get the Rock Polish. That's the move I wanted. The Rock Polish up, and then Mega Horn, the Ludicolo, who comes in and finish off the battle for us. So we were able to take on Grunt Alpha Torres. We definitely made some changes to the team this week. Didn't really remember to touch on those. We'll do that the next battle. But yeah, let's see what the rest of you grunts had for us this week. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go up against Grunt Nurion, and Nurion had a very interesting evil grass team going there for us. Simba comes in here. Simba's a new addition to the team this week. I had some issues with some serious weaknesses. We had a serious Psychic weakness last time, and we have Dark Pulse on Simba now, and we have a Mega Horn on Rhinox, as well as a very good special wall well, Vornado's a pretty decent special wall, but also Mantine is a very good special wall. So definitely tried to combat the Psychic weakness there this time. The team didn't work out in all instances this week, but it definitely seemed to have better coverage in terms of what we were going up against here. So Vornado's going to be able to get that Will-O-Wisp up on the Shiftry. Speed has been halved though, so we're not going to be able to get any other moves off before going down to that Focus Blast. At that point, Fumzy's going to come in, and Fumzy's going to, well, Focus Blast is going to miss, but Fumzy's going to throw up the Sludge Bomb, easily taking out the Shiftry. That leaves up the Cacturn to come in, throws up the Protect there. We throw up the Will-O-Wisp, so they get avoid that, but then we go ahead and just throw up the Will-O-Wisp again, but they miss, and it seems like he's specially attacking, so at this point we just throw up the Sludge Bomb. Does a little over half, which is nothing to snub, and so we're going to come back in this time. We seem to be outspeeding the Cacturn as a Weezing, so that's kind of funny, but Cacturn goes down, and Lilligant's going to come in, throw up that Protect there. Doesn't really buy them anything, so that doesn't really bother me too much. But the Giga Drain's going to do some decent damage to Fumzy there before he lands that Sludge Bomb, which was really good damage. The Giga Drain's going to be enough to kill Fumzy though, and so Fumzy's going to go down. At which point Depth Charge comes in. Depth Charge, pretty much a copy of my Little Cup Depth Charge when I used Mantike as my special wall, and it seemed to work out pretty good. Thank you, Grunt Nurion, for your battle this week. I greatly appreciate you coming back for that. And let's check out the next Grunt, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we went with a newcomer this week. Cheddar Bob challenged me early on in the week, and so we go up against his Rhydon versus my Fumesy. Fumesy doesn't have a lot he can do there. We got the Will-O-Wisp up, which is going to be very nice on the Rhydon, but there's not much else Fumesy can do, so we're kind of chipping away with Flamethrower. I figure Flamethrower and Burn and the recoil damage they're doing to themselves, they're doing way more to themselves each turn than they're doing to Fumesy, so I just decided to leave him in there to do some chipping away. So yeah, it seemed to work out all right. Fumesy comes in with that last Flamethrower, a crit that time, not that it mattered, but Rhydon went down. Then Throw comes in. We're going to be able to get the Will-O-Wisp up on Throw, and hits us with the Circle Throw, which is going to bring in Simba, and Simba is going to throw up the Fire Blast there at that point. Not enough to kill the Throw, and Simba's going to take a Circle Throw there and go down. So that normal typing not really helping it out a whole lot this time. Vornado comes in with the Air Slash at that point and is going to kill the Throw. Kling comes in, going to get the Will-O-Wisp up again just for progressive damage, just, you know, so even if I'm doing something else, we're still getting a little bit of damage off on some of these guys. Fumesy's going to come in again at that point. They continue with the shift gears, getting real nice and set up. And Sage Cheddar Bob is going to now use the Gear Grind on Fumesy, but it's going to miss, and the Flamethrower is going to do some pretty decent damage to the Kling there, and Burn continuing to chip away. The Gear Grind is going to do 2 hits, not enough to kill Fumesy, even with the stat boost, so, and Kling is going to go down to Fumesy's Fire Blast. At that point, Hariyao comes in with the Fake Out. Fumesy's going to get a little bit of Black Sludge back, and then it gets the Toxic damage. Bullet Punch isn't enough to kill, though, and it gives me an opening to throw up the Pain Split, so we're able to get lots of our health back very nicely there. Fumesy takes a hard facade, but the Toxic damage is going to do good work, and then the Bullet Punch isn't going to be enough to take me out before I get the Sludge Bomb off. So I got to take out that Hariyama there. At that point, Goler comes in. Fumesy again throws up the Will-O-Wisp and takes a Dynamic Punch. We get the Confusion, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Almost get it all back from the Black Sludge, but we're not going to be able to get a turn off. We end up hitting ourselves with Confusion, but we able to get through and get the Pain Split up again to get our health back up. So Fumesy just won't die this battle. He is doing some serious work, and the Dynamic Punch continues to not do a whole lot, though throws the Confusion back up, and so Fumesy's going to hit himself in Confusion that time. He's too defensive, and the Poison typing has good resistances, so some of the most common physical types don't really get through him. Eventually they throw up this... Ooh, a little catch in my throat. Throw up the Sleep there. Lilligant's going to throw up that Petal Dance, get me almost down, and then the next Petal Dance is going to come in and finish off Fumesy finally. So he didn't get to completely sweep through the team. Depth Charge then comes in and is going to be able to absorb that thanks to his strong special defenses. Gets a good Air Slash off on it, but then Depth Charge is going to be put to sleep because Fumesy died. So Sleep Clause allows another one. So Depth Charge comes out. Vornado's going to come in there at that point. They throw up the Quiver Dance, which is gutsy. And, well, I guess I was asleep, so they thought they had a turn there, which, I mean, they had a turn, because they were able to kill Vornado with the Petal Dance, which is rough. So Blackavar comes in, he's able to take a Petal Dance there, sets up the Home Claws, and then I believe we're going to Sucker Punch here to finish off the Lilligant. So, a very fun little battle there from Sage Cheddar Bob, and I appreciate the participation this week. Always nice to have new people in there. So, yeah, let's check out the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, we went up against Grunt Nougat here, and Nougat leads off with their, I almost said Radagast, Vivillon, Pokemon number 666, and they put Rhydon to sleep. Depth Charge comes in at that point, and they've set up the Tailwind, so they're going to be nice and fast. And the Air Slash is only going to do moderate damage to Gazooie before the red card switches him out. At that point, I bring Depth Charge back out because he's got good special defenses. As I said, he's my special defensive wall. So if somebody's got to go up against a Calm Minding... Xatu? Yeah, Xatu. Then I want it to be him. Unfortunately, messed up with the Toxic. I forgot these things always carry Magic Bounce. And so I threw the Toxic up at it, but that didn't land. Thankfully, though, the Scald did land the burn. so that worked out pretty nicely. And Kazooie's going to come in, continue to protect, continue to wish. Got all of its setup things there. Rhinox comes in and is nice and asleep. He's going to take a hard stored power, but then he's going to wake up and miss the Stone Edge, so that's a bit disappointing. Going to take another stored power there and go down to Grunt Nougat's Xatu. At that point, Vornado comes in. Vornado's going to get the Volt Switch up and switch out, bringing Depth Charge back in. But Kazooie's going to die to its burn this time, but it gets a Wish up, so whoever comes in is going to be able to take some damage, which he does. I get a crit Scald off, but Charmu's going to heal right back up thanks to its partner's Wish. And then the Dragon Claw is going to do some good damage to the Mantine there. Depth Charge taking toxic damage all the way, and then finally going down to a Dragon Claw there. At that point, Fumsy comes in, because Fumsy usually does, at which point Vivillon comes back in, takes the Sludge Bomb, but doesn't do a ton of damage, less than half. Fumsy's going to get put to sleep there, thanks to the Sleep Powder, Compound Eyes, I'm sure some sort of item that boosted it as well. Simba comes in, Aromatherapy doing work, and then Simba's going to hit the Squidward with a Fire Blast, which is, again, not going to do even half. The Hyper Voice does not enough to kill, and unfortunately then the Superpower is going to land, both killing Simba and giving a boost to the Malamar. So Vornado comes in at this point, Volt switches on out, killing Squidward, so at least those stat boosts don't come back to haunt us too much, and brings Blackavar back into the game. Throw up the Sucker Punch as kind of a last-ditch effort, knowing that Earthquake's coming. Do a little bit of damage to the Charmu. At that point, Fumsy's going to come in. He is asleep, but the Scyther's going to switch in, getting Will-O-Wisp in the process, which that doesn't work out too bad. The knockoff comes, doesn't do much, but does lose us our Black Sludge, which is a little bit annoying. The Flamethrower doing some super effective damage, but not enough to kill. We do have the Burn there, though, which took it under half, so that worked out nicely. And then Cactus Face comes in, takes a hard Sludge Bomb, and then gets poisoned. Heals itself with the Catsup Berry, or Let It Move first, getting the Destiny Bond off, which takes out Fumsy. I think we probably could have wrapped this up okay if we had been able to kill that thing without losing Fumsy. But unfortunately, Fumsy goes down to the Destiny Bond, and Vornado just doesn't have the stamina to take out Charmu before going down. So we did end up losing to Grunt Nougat this week. Thank you, buddy, for jumping in here and doing a battle for us. And I think our team stood up pretty well, but obviously not well enough, so we've got some more changes we've got to make in order to be truly dominant. But thank you so much for the battle and your fun little team. Alrighty, guys, let's check out the next one. Alrighty, guys, here we go up against Grunt ECAT, and ECAT appears to be a member of the Shadow Triad. Vornado comes in and Will-O-Wisp, Proton, the Wheezing there, and then we're going to Volt Switch on out. The Depth Charge comes in, then at that point, Depth Charge carrying special attacks, so I figured that'd be a good thing to go up against Wheezing with. Wheezing throws up the Will-O-Wisp there and is going to get Depth Charge burned there, and then we are going to hit it with another Scald, which is going to get it within burn depth range, even with the Black Sludge, and take Proton out. At which point, Depth Charge is going to take a hard Night Slash, and then use Defog to get those toxic spikes off the field, and then the burn is going to take Depth Charge on out as well. Fumsy comes in then at that point with taking the Psycho Cut. Such a great physical wall, even a super effective move, does barely a little bit, but then that crit comes in and just wrecks. Simba then comes in at that point with the Dark Pulse. The Superpower then gonna wreck Simba. Another Malamar just wrecking our faces and taking down Simba, getting the stat boost. Rhydon at that point then is going to hold on from the crit super effective boosted Superpower, and then it's going to Mega Horn and finish off Ursula, so thankfully finally that thing goes down. Fist Pistol comes in at that point, finishing off Rhydon. Vornado's going to come in and Volt Switch on out, taking down the Poliwrath, bringing Blackavar in. He's going to get Thunder Waved by Maggie, and then he's going to set up the Home Claws there, get our attack and accuracy boosted. The Sucker Punch does a lot, but not enough to kill, and then the Paralysis is going to take effect. and we're going to be able to Sucker Punch one last time there. Then the Pyroar comes in. We had a lot of trouble with Pyroar last episode, and again, Pyroar comes in and really does some good work there. Vornado taking a wild charge there. The Pyroar gets Moxie boosted, and unfortunately is going to continue to wreck house a little bit. Again, Vornado comes down to Vornado, just not enough stamina, either power behind its attacks or defenses in order to withstand that. And we go down to a member of the Shadow Triad. So a couple of losses this week. Not as bad. We weren't exploited as bad as in previous weeks with that, but definitely still not perfect. Not as familiar with this tier, obviously. So we could potentially make some tweaks, but happier for sure with the team we've got going. Unfortunately, one of the few people I would probably switch out is Blackavar at this point, but he's on the team because he's the starter. So we'll have to play around with some stuff, but we have our admin battle for the day, so let's check that out, guys. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, we went up against admin Mac, and Mac leads off with Sandy, the Sand Slash, a nice, beautiful little shiny Sand Slash there, which Fumesy gets the burn off on, but it eats a Loomberry and is going to heal itself from the burn, at which point Tortoise switches in, and he's going to take the burn, and Fumesy is going to take a Zen Headbutt like a champ there. Tortoise is going to continue throwing Zen Headbutts up, but Fumesy is going to have the power behind him to take out the Tortoise before he's able to kill. At that point, though, the Crazy Gear comes in with the Gear Grind and takes down Fumesy. Simba, though, going to come in and throw up the Fire Blast there, which would have killed the Gear potentially, but definitely killed Sandy. And then Electivire is going to come in there. Rhinox comes in, takes a hard Earthquake. Critical hit there. Getting some criticals on Rhinox today. But then Depth Charge comes in for the second one. Gonna miss that. But the Wild Charge, physical electric attack, too much for the 4 times weak, especially defensive Depth Charge. So he's gonna go down. Simba comes in for the cleanup though. Gonna be able to Hyper Voice out the Electivire. And then Fire Blast off the Cacturne. Fire Blast the Gear. Crazy Gear, and then hopefully here finish off Coco with another Fire Blast. So a bit of a fire weakness on this team there in the end. 3 of the 6 pretty weak to it, and Simba able to get the cleanup finish there for us. So we took down admin Mac, and I think we had a good week for the most part. We had a couple of good wins, a couple of tough losses, but hey, you can't win them all. And I appreciate all of you guys coming in here this week, even if I forgot to mention it, which I think I might have on a couple of you guys. Thank you guys so much for participating this week. So much fun for this week and every week, because some of you guys come back week after week after week, which is just awesome. This week it might have been a bit tough for some of you guys getting in there, so if you guys were trying to get a hold of me and you weren't able to, I want to apologize to you guys to start, because my wife was on fall break this week. Which means she was home, and so that meant like most lunch times I was hanging out with her or something as opposed to sitting at my computer eating and waiting for you guys to get on. So I think I missed most of our lunchtime slots this week, but this next coming week should be back to business as usual. So I want to apologize to those of you guys who maybe had difficulty getting in this week. It was my fault. But let's quickly check out what we're going to be doing next week, and then we will call it a day. Alrighty guys, here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are. We have to generate to figure out what encounter type we are going to have next week, so let's quickly do that. Generating, we end up with 2, which is going to be a Root Trainer. So we've got another Root battle next week. Oh, we actually have to, we gotta get this back up. So from there, we have to then look at, that's not really in frame. Let's move this a little bit. All right, so we got to figure out what root type we're going to be on. So I want to highlight this in yellow. We have a Root Trainer battle, and we've got 1 through 12. Let's generate 7. A Water Root. That's a new one we haven't done before, I don't think. So next week we are going to be having a Water Root battle. So that'll be exciting. You guys are NU trainers on a root, and that root is covered in water. So let that inform your team building as you will. And I will see you guys back here starting tomorrow morning. As always, the times and schedule and everything like that for when you guys can meet up with me is in the description down below. I'm going to try and stick to that as best as I can. Shouldn't be any extenuating circumstances next week, so we should be able to get in there no trouble. But yeah, I look forward to battling you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure those like, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good one!